Super 17 round in 2 weeks in Chicago. Introducing first, starting lineup for 7 outs. Number 2, Lou Kelly. Number 24, Andrew Lavender. Number 32, Randall Orr. Number 35, Keith Ramsey. And number 40, Paul Lorigney. Introducing now the starting lineup for Grantland. Number 3, Reggie Moore. Number 10, Mike Bibby. Number 11, Garrett Sherman. Number 12, Lee Humphrey. And number 44, Brian Scalabrine.
Day 3 of the Western Regional, Game 3 just set to get underway here at Cal State LA, home of the Golden Eagles. We're inside the Eagles' nest that holds roughly 2,100 people. And those inside the building captivated here by Game 3 as top overall seed Grantland is set to take on the 9th seed, 7 outs with a trip to Chicago. And the Super 17 on the line. Nick Grunowitz here alongside Tariq Fatal. As we're ready to get things underway, 7 outs in those red jerseys, red shorts. Grantland in those white jerseys and white shorts. We'll get you the starting lineups here in just a minute. Grantland and 7 outs ready to get things going here. Game 3 of 4, as I said. Garrick Sherman and Randy Orr will jump for either team. It's one away by 7 outs. Marigny throws over Orr, a 3 over Sherman. That rattles out Brian Scalabrine with the rebound. He lost it. Marigny dribbles inside, works up against Mike Bibby. Toss out. Andrew Lavender missed it wide. Rebound goes to the former Sacramento King, Mike Bibby. Grantland looks a little like this. Reggie Moore, Mike Bibby, Garrick Sherman, Lee Humphrey, and Brian Scalabrine. 2 former NBA pros out here. Scalabrine, one of them. He's the one with the World Championship ring as he lays it up and in. And it's 2-0, Team Grantland. As for 7 outs, they have Andrew Lavender, followed by Keith Ramsey. With Randall Orr, he's the one with the ball here. Hands it over. This is Paul Marigny, as well as Lou Kelly. And Randall Orr puts it up and in. 2-2 ball game, 1 minute gone by. First half, and Tariq, there's a little bit of an energy inside the building here, and it started as soon as Mike Bibby walked into the building. Sherman bodies up, puts it up, missed, knocked out. Andrew Lavender controls.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a buzz for sure. I mean, everyone's been looking at that Grantland roster and thinking who's going to come, who's going to show up, and of course, Scalabrine's fun to watch. He was here yesterday.
He is fun to watch,
but here comes Mike Bibby, and now everyone's kind of just up on their toes a little more.
Another man that was exciting in that first game. Reggie Moore misses, but the cleanup there for Brian Scalabrine. He's got the first 4 for Team Grantland. As I said, a trip to the Windy City on the line here. Chicago, the Super 17, where the 4 winners of each of the 4 regions will converge, and then the 2014 champion Notre Dame alum team will join the fray. Reggie Moore, look at this man, dribble the basketball, fires over Andrew Lavender, bang.
In rhythm. You know, one thing that's interesting to watch, yesterday Grantland obviously played a little bit of a weaker team, and you didn't see really Brian Scalabrine take advantage of his size down there. And you just know he can bully people. I mean, he can just will the ball in the hoop, and in his first 4 points today, we've seen him do that.
Saved by Reggie Moore. He fires a 3. Missed it. Lee Humphrey tried to punch it back out, but it's controlled by Andrew Lavender, the 2003 McDonald's All-American, and he's fouled en route. Who's going to pick this up? Garrick Sherman will pick it up. But you look up and down at this Grantland team. They got a win yesterday in order to advance, beating the VBL Dream Team. That only traveled really 5 guys for that, but Grantland did the same. Here's Marigny, step back, long 2, foot was on the line, and he got it. It's a long 2, makes it 7-4 Grantland.
Guards are big. Their big men are big on big. It's actually an interesting matchup between Grantland, who also has size.
Garrick Sherman, former Notre Dame Fighting Irish member, has it rejected by Randall Orr. Feed down low, this is Kelly, he puts it up and in. Luke Kelly, UNLV, played there from 99 to 2002. Lays it up and in, and it's a 1-point ball game. Brian Scalabrine set to check back in after Maxi Esho replaced him moments ago. Bibby with the foul in transition on Marigny.
Luke Kelly, first couple days, well, he only, the first couple days, he's been kind of like a shot maker. You know, he doesn't wow you with his ball handling or crazy crossover, step back, jump shot, none of that tough stuff. He just almost kind of like walks you down and shoots a shot over you, and he's extremely effective.
This game expected to be a close one, despite what everyone would assume on the surface is a talent disparity between Grantland and 7 outs with Scalabrine, Bibby, even Lee Humphrey, an NCAA champion at Florida in 2007. But the 7 outs team has a lot of very good overseas pros, including Randall Orr, Andrew Lavender, who has the ball here. This is Ramsey, nice little crossover, and he threw it out of bounds. Was looking for Luke Kelly.
The 7 ounce team is very competitive.
They are.
They really know each other well, and they're just, you know, they're just clapping it up, and they challenge each other basically, and it pays off.
Down the middle goes Reggie Moore, and he's fouled. 7 outs, based out of Las Vegas. They are managed by Bruce Williams. One guy on the roster, Marcus Banks, has not traveled here with the team. Was the 13th pick back in 2003 by the Memphis Grizzlies. I was hoping that Marcus Banks was going to show up when Mike Bibby did, because they were both taken by the Grizzlies. The only difference, Bibby was taken while they were still in Vancouver. Here's Ramsey in transition, picked up by Maxi Esho. Shovel over, Randall Orr 3. Left it short. This is Reggie Moore. Washington State played there a year before leaving the program. Put it up high off the window, left it short, and a loose ball foul. Left it long, make that. How about that?
Pace has been pretty quick.
It has.
For 2 larger teams, been pretty quick. I'm sure, my prediction, it'll slow down a little bit here.
It will have to for Team Grantland. They have just 6 guys in attendance. 7 outs traveling. Looks to be 8 or 9 deep. Moore out to the White Mamba. Scalabrine working with the left hand. Looked to give it to Sherman. That was cut off on. Lee Humphrey shot it well from outside last night. He'll get it to Scalabrine, who missed that wide. Rebound, Garrick Sherman, and he puts it up and in.
Great left-handed, one-handed rebound while boxing out another. Puts it in with his left hand. Great finish there for Sherman.
Talked to a couple of guys after that Grantland game last night, and Sherman was one of the standouts from that performance. Here's a 3 from Randall Orr. He buries it. We've got a tie game, 9-9. And the question has been, why is Garrick Sherman not getting an opportunity here in the United States? He's a big man that can shoot. That question kind of went unanswered. And Garrick Sherman, a very talented player, spent time in 2 very good systems with 2 very good coaches. I mentioned Notre Dame and Mike Bray. The other one, Michigan State. They have a guy there named Tom Izzo you may have heard of. Reggie Moore elevates, has it knocked away. And it will be Grantland ball substitution. Mike Bibby in, Garrick Sherman out. Sherman will take his seat. And Bibby, the 14-year NBA pro, into the ballgame. Reggie Moore uses his screen trapped up high. Scalabrine swing to Bibby. Shot it well during warm-ups, and he rims that one out. I don't know if I saw him miss during warm-ups, Mike Bibby.
I didn't either. We were sitting here saying, man, he just still got it. And your response was, it never goes away.
It never goes away. A lot of these pros can shoot it for a long time. Andrew Lavender, how about that circus shot, spinning it off the glass. Lob down low, Maxi Esho in the 2-handed jam. Esho, the UMass Minutemen's product, puts it up and in, the man from Boston. We have a game tied at 11. 5.5 minutes going by, lob in. This is Daewon Tate. Works against Bibby. Over the top, and Bibby gets the rebound. Working with the left hand. Still a little bit of handle in that pro. Trying to get it to Brian Scalabrine, and he threw it away. This is Randall Orr. One touch, Drew Lavender. The overseas professional for years feeds it over to Orr. Backing in on Esho. Spins baseline, shoots over the top of the youngster, and missed it short. Moore. Little finger roll runner, missed it.
Overthought it.
I think he was thinking about throwing a lob for Esho there.
Yes, he was.
Here's a lob here. Ramsey puts it up and in.
generally a missed layup on one end ends up in a layup or a transition 3 ball at the other end, and then we see layup.
Bibby, look at the transition, the hesitation move there, and he puts it up and in. It ties the game at 13. Grantland and 7 outs. Winner to Chicago. Timeout called by 7 outs. So 11:25 to go. We are tied at 13. We've gotten a chance to see Mike Bibby and Brian Scalabrine in the game here. And you and I were talking about it before the start that, you know, Mike Bibby was a guy didn't show up yesterday. He's here today. And this Grantland team, we were both looking for where Jason Williams was, who's also on this roster. It seems that he is not going to make it to the tournament. He has dropped out of this tournament, which was a slight disappointment to you and me.
Yeah, it was. I think we've seen those videos kind of on Facebook and social media. It's him in pro-ams still mixing guys up. And my favorite quote is he's dribbling the ball. He looks back at a ref or someone and he goes, I haven't traveled since the 3rd grade. That's my favorite one. But Jason Williams would be one heck of a entertaining watch.
He would be.
You know, he might not even be as quick as he used to be, but his craftiness and
he is.
He kind of chips and chaps at everybody, and it would be fun to watch.
Not just a basketball player, but an entertainer.
Exactly, that's the word I was looking for.
I am from the Orlando area, as is Jason Williams, and he is a legend and probably a bit of a myth for the way that he carves guys up in those pro-ams and those pickup games. And he would have been very entertaining to watch. Has not made it out here, but still will have an entertaining ball game here as Paul Marigny gets it out of the timeout. We will talk about the 7 outs team quite a bit as the game continues. Daewon Tate gets a step on Scalabrine. Goes to the basket. A little bit too strong. Maxi Esho will pull it down.
Yeah, the 7 ounce team, like I mentioned earlier, you know, just big at every position other than Lavender, and they just really compete so well.
Floater from Bibby, left it short. Garrick Sherman, another offensive board. He's got 2 of those. Scalabrine from the left corner, no. Rebound and a push. Marigny, one-on-one working against Moore. He traveled.
It's got to be a travel.
He got held up.
Good call.
Tried for the Euro step. The problem was that Euro step was his 3rd step, and that's illegal. Turnover. Still tied at 13. Reggie Moore turns the corner. Tries to flip it around. Daewon Tate, who was the helping defender. Scalabrine shoots it from Boston. Yes.
In rhythm.
Very deep up high, and Scalabrine knocks it down.
His first couple 3 balls were kind of just stand still, maybe a pass that was down at his ankles. He brought it up and shot it, couldn't drain one, but there, in total rhythm, knocks it down.
Lavender misses wide. Moore cannot give him too much space. This Reggie Moore kid is very good. Will fire up over the top of Kelly, and he missed it. Put back Mike Bibby, and it's up and in. Grantland starting to push a lead. They have it by 5 now, 18-13. Kelly missed it. Marigny taps it out of bounds.
Missed chance for 7 outs. I mean, lack of communication for Grantland. Lou Kelly just standing there wide open, gets a chance to look at the rim, put the ball on the floor. Maybe too much time. That's why he missed it.
Correction, it was off of Brian Scalabrine as Marigny checks out. Coming in, Daryl Ewell from Las Vegas. Lavender, lob to the corner. Daewon Tate works against the former Boston Celtic and Chicago Bull. And Tate lost it on the floor. And a timeout called. Referee says a timeout called was from the near sideline here. Andrew Lavender called it. And let's talk a little bit about this 7 outs team, which comes in. They played on the first day, which gives them an extra game of experience here over this Grantland team. 7 outs beating the LA Dragons in the first round. Second round, it beat Global Select, and now here takes on Grantland. They are led by Andrew Lavender, the 2003 McDonald's All-American. But as you said, very big and very athletic. I look at them kind of like another team in this tournament did, the LA Clippers, where they're big at every position and very athletic, and they're led by quite a few of overseas professionals like Marcus Banks, who has not made it here, of course, but guys like Randall Orr and Keith Ramsey, who down low have been able to shore things up.
Yeah, they move the ball well.
They
and
do.
Like I said, you know, I think competitively, they're probably one of the most competitive teams here. I mean, they're all competitive, but something about them, they just get fiery, and they bring it right to you.
Carter.
They're definitely not scared of this Grantland team, that's for sure.
They are not. Carter enters the ball game, hands it off to Luke Kelly. Fallback jumper. That was an awkward shot over the top of Mike Bibby. Here's Reggie Moore. He runs the point for Grantland, gets a step around a man, has it knocked away from behind. Good hands there by Daryl Ewell, who controls it now. 3-on-1 for 7 outs. Given down low. Grantland able to recover. Sherman, good defense as he stretches his hand out and gets it in front of Luke Kelly, forcing the miss. Here's Bibby. Sherman in the circle. Driving on Carter, spins in, kicks out Bibby. Extra pass, Scalabrine open in rhythm, yes.
Got it.
Got 8-point lead for Grantland.
Got a chance to talk to Scalabrine yesterday after the first game, and even though, like we mentioned, that team that they played, the Everett Evolution, wasn't too competitive, they were running, him and Matt Bonner, who's coaching Grantland, they were running through plays.
Yeah, VBL.
Against VBL, correct. Yes. As they were running through plays, and even though the score was 15, 20 points, they wanted to make sure they could execute because they knew a tough team like 7 Ounce was coming up next.
Bibby with the 3 to give Grantland an 11-point lead. One guy that showed out in that game was Lee Humphrey, the former Florida Gator. He shot it very well from outside. Tate working on Scalabrine. Forced baseline fadeaway jumper off the backboard. Put back no as well. That was Carter who tried to stuff it back in. Out to Reggie Moore. And he's knocked to the floor while trying to get it out to Maxie Esho, who buried the 3, but it doesn't matter. So it'll be Grantland basketball. Paul Marigny, Randall Orr check in, as well as Keith Ramsey for this 7 Ounce team. Tate and Ewell sit down. Bibby, 3 from the left wing, missed that one long. Marigny with the rebound. He likes to push it, so keep an eye on Marigny here. Bounce in, Ramsey.
Oh, yeah.
Give right to Marigny on the give and go.
Traditional basketball. Can't be mad at it. Easy 2.
Pretty simple analytics on that one. Reggie Moore, as I said, spent a year at Washington State. Some off-court issues forced him to leave, but right there he throws it down. Look at the big man, Reggie Moore. He's headed to the D-League in a couple of weeks.
Mike Rappaport on the Grantland bench just went nuts. He just went AWOL, man. That was classic.
Ramsey with the putback. Everyone's still thinking about the dunk. My goodness. You've got the highlight sheet here. Write that one down. Reggie Moore, at about the 7:45 mark, decided to throw it down on 3 members of a team from Las Vegas.
He just kind of kept going up. I didn't think he was going to get there.
Yeah, he didn't stop. He did not stop. He just kept going.
What
Technical
a play.
Foul. Michael Rappaport has been issued a technical foul from the bench, as well as Keith Ramsey for 7 Outs, so it's an offsetting double technical. This Grantland team is general managed by Matt Bonner, so a name you may know, spent many years with the San Antonio Spurs, has a couple of championship rings from playing with Duncan Ginobili, Parker, and Pop. He's a restricted free agent at the moment. One touch Scalabrine. He's going to drive. Kicks back out Mike Bibby. Turns the corner. Down to Scalabrine. He had his foot out of bounds. I think Scal was looking to throw it down there, but couldn't quite get the step.
Bibby's kind of taken more of a playmaker's role, where Reggie Moore obviously has been trying to score.
Well, they say as you age, you move up a position. So at this point for Mike Bibby, he's about a 6 or 7. Isn't that true?
I'm curious to know if later on in the game he decides to kind of take over a little bit.
Marigny tried to make the jumper. Bibby hits the floor. Who's going to pick this one up? Keith Ramsey. Ramsey is not happy here. Everyone may be having fun watching Mike Bibby and Brian Scalabrine play here, but Keith Ramsey wants to win and continue to have a chance to win $1 million.
Yeah,
he's out here competing.
He's not having it.
He is not having it. He may feel like everyone's having a good time right now watching this, but it's not an exhibition game. He wants a chance to win $1 million, and he sees his team down by 9 with 7 minutes to go. But you make a good point in terms of Bibby. What does he do as this game continues? I think it's going to be what it calls for. Reggie Moore, the starting point guard last night. He continues to play the point here. Played at Washington State for 1 year, as I mentioned, some off-court issues. forced him to leave that program. He took a year off as well. Didn't hear a lot about him. He was highly touted out of the Washington area from Rainier High School. Thought to be a guy that, when he played at Washington State, was going to be a lottery pick if he spent some time in that program. Trained in the offseason with someone who you may be aware of, a guy that played at Arizona, Stanley Johnson, who was a lottery pick to the Detroit Pistons, and Stan Van Gundy. And there were a lot of good vibes, some good rumors about Reggie Moore coming out of those workouts. He's headed to the D-League after this tournament is over and is going to try to work his way into the pros. Lee Humphrey barreled over, and Sherman going to the lane. He's fouled, and Randall Orr is going to pick up the personal.
Good play there by Grantland.
Jason Carter picks it up.
A little pick and roll. Thrown to Scalabrine. Scalabrine actually hits the roller there, and Sherman coming down the lane.
So Sherman will shoot two. He's been quiet early, but as I said earlier in the broadcast, I don't know how this guy does not get minutes here in the United States. He's an overseas player, has spent time in Michigan State and Notre Dame. He's a good player. He's a big 7-footer, can step away and shoot it. You can see, knows how to run offense from the interior post. I know that they might not be playing against the top competition here in the United States, but this guy is good. Drew Lavender up high, harassed by Bibby. Randall Orr over the top of Sherman, and he buries it.
Randall Orr for three.
Every NBA roster could certainly use a big man that can stretch the floor a little bit. Seems to be of high value nowadays. Sherman can do that.
Moore, double team comes. They follow him. He gets by them both, lays it up and in. Look at the agility on this kid. Great athleticism out of Reggie Moore.
Great hesitation. I think everyone thought he was going to maybe throw a behind-the-back pass to Scalabrine there at the top of the key. He just kind of continued going forward and got a layup.
Orr's three, an air ball. Lee Humphrey collects to Sherman. Drives. Has it knocked away by Carter. Here's Orr in transition. 5:56 left, a 10-point lead here in the first half for Grantland. Orr, Carter, Marigny. Sherman closes out on him. Step back three for Marigny. Yes. Paul Marigny. He has 7 points, 7 outs, led by 8 points from Randall Orr. Scalabrine's 10 paces Grantland early. Reggie Moore looking inside. Scalabrine, Bibby. Going to pull it back out. He's harassed by Randall Orr. Sherman, Bibby, they both left him defensively. Yes. Bibby knocks it down. Randall Orr and Paul Marigny both left Mike Bibby. There was some confusion about this switch, and Bibby knocked it down to get it back to a 10-point game. Marigny working on Humphrey. Good behind the back dribble. Dishes it off to Ramsey, and he missed it wide. Here comes Mike Bibby. Ahead to Scalabrine. Humphrey. Bibby in the left wing. Lets it fly over the top of Orr. That one's short. Sherman with the rebound. Hits Scal. Back to Bibby. He got loose on the baseline. Scalabrine. Sherman. Moore. Wide open lane. Moore. Up. Scalabrine. Back to Sherman. He's fouled. Reggie Moore caught that ball, and the lane opened up, and you could feel everyone's head go up for a moment, thinking that Reggie Moore was going to get a chance at another dunk, but they closed out on him well, as Maxi Esho looks to check in for Grantland.
Can't be mad at the extra pass. There was about 3 or 4 of them on that one possession there. Ends up in a free throw line opportunity for Sherman. Knocks down the first.
Match up, we got a new guys. Match up, everybody talk.
Sherman goes 1 of 2 from the line. 11-point Grantland lead. Marigny works on Humphrey. This is Randall Orr over Scalabrine. Yes, Randall Orr can really shoot it from the outside. We've seen him make 3 3-pointers now. 11 points for Randall Orr in the first half. He's from Henderson, Nevada. Has played overseas for most of the last 8 years. Did spend some time in the D-League as well. Sherman missed the layup. He was harassed from behind. Up ahead, Dajuan Tate. He can score as well, and he missed it short. Reggie Moore. Andrew Lavender asking for a little bit of help. Tate closes out on him. Moore to the basket, and he's fouled on the body.
22, go on, Tate, first personal.
Tate picks up his first. That is 8 as a team for 7 outs. So we'll see Reggie Moore go to the line, as I said. A lot of positive feedback coming out of those workouts with Stanley Johnson for Reggie Moore. And I get the feeling this is a guy you may see for quite some time, either in the D-League or overseas. If not, a guy who can crack into the NBA. Obviously has the athleticism, but of course, it's just all about opportunity. We talked about that with Garrick Sherman. It's just about getting your foot in the door. Here comes Andrew Lavender. We talk about opportunity. Andrew Lavender was a guy who was a McDonald's All-American in 2003. He played in that All-American game that you watch every year on TV, and it's really more just guys that play for Kentucky, Duke, and then the other team, or with another step-back jumper. On his team in that 2003 McDonald's All-American game, 3 guys who you might recognize. Moore misses the circus shot. Tate with the rebound, and here's Lavender again. Their names, Luol Deng, who most recently played and re-signed with the Miami Heat. Chris Paul, who I'm sure you know from the Clippers, thought to be one of the best point guards in the NBA. And a guy named LeBron James, who may be the best player on the planet. In fact, is the best player on the planet. Or again, short rebound, Marigny put it back up and in.
LeBron was going to be my guess, obviously.
Yes,
highlighted
2003.
the 2003 draft. And when you said that, I thought, oh, he must have been on LeBron's squad.
He was. 6-point Grantland lead. Reggie Moore up high. Drives left, kicks into the corner. This is Esho for 3. Rattles out. Sherman with another rebound. Bibby measures it up. Got it.
Smooth. Real smooth by Mike Bibby. And once again, Sherman, kind of like you mentioned, not wowing us, offensively, but just scrappy and causing a problem down there on the offensive glass. Gets another opportunity for the team, and Bibby knocks down the 3.
Randall Orr, step back over Scalabrine. He hits the floor. No foul call. Bibby caught it. 2-on-1 for Team Grantland. More to the left of Bibby, who lost it for a moment. It's able to be regained. Bibby lost the handle. Orr hits the ground. Bibby fires the 3, nothing but net. When things go wrong and then all of a sudden right, we'll call it a happy accident. Put that Mike Bibby 3 right in there with penicillin in terms of happy accidents as he makes that 3 from the right wing in 7 outs, calls a timeout.
Mike Bibby taking advantage of a scrappy play that he started, ended up finishing it with a 3 ball, but he's got 16 points, 4 assists, and 5 rebounds. Dare I say triple-double-esque? We're only here, we're almost to halftime.
We got time.
He might grab another assist or rebound before half. Heck, he might score again. 16 points, 6. I don't even know he shot 10 shots. It's kind of quiet, don't you think?
He's 4 of 6 from beyond the arc. It's been a very good first half for Mike Bibby. 10 coming from the other NBA pro on the roster, Brian Scalabrine. 9 from Reggie Moore. On the other side, 7 outs, led by Randall Orr's 13. Paul Marigny has 9, and Keith Ramsey has 4. And you can see both Ramsey and Orr, the more seasoned players on this 7 outs team, which as a collection is an older team, one of the older ones in the basketball tournament, trying to step up and get serious here. As I said, it was kind of an entertaining energy here inside the Eagles' nest for this game with, of course, guys like Bibby and Scalabrine in the game. But 7 outs wants to win. They want to move on in the tournament. They're not here to have fun. And you saw that from guys like Ramsey and Orr, who are trying to be aggressive. They trail by 12. 7 outs does. 42-30 coming out of the timeout.
Something to note about the tournament, there's been a lot of great kind of smaller guards. I know it's kind of random, but now that I think about it, Lavender, obviously Reggie Moore.
You think of Brooks, whose team was just eliminated, Team B-ball breakdown.
And I think of Devon White.
As well, Kelly makes the layup.
From Team 23. Who's been absolutely just an assassin from downtown. They're all athletic, and they all just can get their shot off. It's really been fun to watch.
You can see Keith Ramsey has switched on to Mike Bibby, trying to keep the ball out of the hands of the former Sacramento King. Sherman, Humphrey, the extra pass off the hand of Esho. He's able to re-get it. And it's poked out from behind by Daewon White. Reggie Moore is going to check back in here. He's going to come get Garrick Sherman. Humphrey, who's been quiet. Backdoor, Reggie Moore almost had Marigny beat. Long arms of Marigny bothering Moore there for a moment. He goes up and under the bounce pass. Esho amongst the trees, has it stripped once, twice. It's out the baseline. Grantland will turn it over.
Get back, match up. Match up.
Daewon Tate will key it in, and we'll see Paul Marigny go to work. But you're right, there have been a lot of good guards, small guards as well.
Yeah.
Which you have to say, they're going to call an illegal screen here as Mike Bibby hit the floor.
And I wouldn't say this is, resembling a 6'5" and under league. I mean, we got some 6'8", 6'10",
absolutely,
couple footers. Anthony Stover on B-ball breakdown is basically 7 feet tall. So I'm just saying those kind of guys are out here, and for those little guards to score in abundance as they are doing is really impressive.
Scalabrine sheds off one defender, lost it on his way to the basket. Team 7 outs thought that they had a turnover, but instead Scalabrine is going to go to the line to shoot 2. They're in the double bonus. Grantland is.
Scalabrine shooting 2.
Scalabrine's first free throw goes down. Brian Scalabrine, a second-round pick to the New Jersey Nets in 2001, so he did what every player selected by the Nets does. He left, went to the Boston Celtics, played there, of course, in that core that surrounded the big three of Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, and Kevin Garnett. Won a title with the Celtics in 2008 under Doc Rivers.
Boston loved him.
They did.
Not even the organization, just the people.
Yes.
Loved Scal.
He became a cult hero, is what you would call him in Boston. Marigny fall away 3 over Humphrey, and that is an absolute sharpshooter right there.
One shot.
32 seconds left in the half, coughed up by Reggie Moore. All by himself, Luke Kelly will lay it up and in. Makes it a 7-point game, 24 seconds left, and Grantland should hold for the final shot. And Scalabrine becoming that cult hero, the guy that sat on the end of the bench, did not play much. If he came into the game, it usually meant good things for those with shamrocks on their shirts. Was the towel waver. Bibby, left corner. Scal the 3. No, he missed it. Rebound, 7 outs. Here comes Luke Kelly. 1 on the shot clock. He throws it up, and it is wide left as the buzzer sounds. And we'll have a 7-point difference at the end of 1/2. The top overall seed, Grantland, leads 7 outs. This 7 outs team does not have the air of one that is going to have a good time and go away quietly. So they're going, I'm sure, to have an aggressive push when we head to the second half. That coming up in just a bit. Winner to the Super 17 in Chicago after this. Second half ready to get underway here. Game 3 of the third day of the basketball tournament. Western Regional winners advance today to the Super 17 in Chicago at the end of 1/2. Team Grantland, the top overall seed of this region, has a 44-37 lead over 7 outs. The team from Las Vegas. As we welcome you back into the broadcast, Nick Grunowitz here with Tariq Fatal. Team Grantland built quite a large lead, about 18 or 19 points. 7 outs with a flurried finish to get it within 7. We'll get you the starters on the floor to start the second half in a moment. Mike Bibby, the lob down low to Brian Scalabrine, is knocked out of bounds. 7 outs feels like it was last touched by Grantland, but they're going to call it out on Drew Lavender. They're going to call it off Drew Lavender, yes. Lee Humphrey to inbound. He's got Brian Scalabrine, Mike Bibby, Garrick Sherman, and Reggie Moore on the floor, and now Bibby is fouled, going to the basket. In the ball game for 7 outs, Randall Orr, along with Keith Ramsey, Drew Lavender. Toss out to Scalabrine. Also on the floor is Luke Kelly and Paul Marigny. Bibby to the basket. Layup is just short. It may have been touched by Kelly, but Sherman with the offensive board and the putback gives Grantland a 9-point lead to start off the second half. Ramsey moves it up the floor. Keith Ramsey, the Missouri alum, turns the corner. Pitches it off. This is Luke Kelly. He's bumped. 7-ounce wants a foul. They don't get it. And Moore is fouled. Drew Lavender ties him up after a nifty move by Reggie Moore. And it looked like he had a path to the basket. And Lavender's going to pick it up. So that's 2 fouls on Drew Lavender here in the second half in the first 44 seconds.
We mentioned in the last game the circumstances were a little different. The deficit was larger, but
yes,
as we all know, the first 3-4 minutes are crucial to the second half. And I think 7-ounce really needs to make some shots and have a stout defensive stance here in the first couple possessions.
Bibby looking for Sherman. Fortunately, it falls in the hands of Lee Humphrey. Moore drives and throws it up at the basket. Foul called here, and Moore is going to go to the line. Paul Marigny will pick up the foul, and Reggie Moore was in a little bit of trouble there. I think he was looking to try to get it over to Garrick Sherman, but threw it up at the basket, drew the foul. That's the second foul on Paul Marigny. Third already. We're 57 seconds into the second half, and 3 team fouls already on 7 ounces. Moore makes the first.
That's what Lavender's speaking to this official down here on our right. He literally just pointed up to it and said, hey, it's not even been a minute. 3 team fouls already. What's going on?
Second free throw for Moore, and it goes down. A looser game called by the officials would benefit 7 outs, not just because of the early foul trouble, because they're used to playing a little bit of a quicker up and down style. Andrew Lavender to the right wing, bounce up the top. Ramsey looked to size one up, drives on Sherman, has it stripped and a foul called. They're going to give that foul to Garrick Sherman. They're going to call that on the floor. Ramsey, it'll be an inbound for Drew Lavender. 7 outs, thought it should have been a shooting foul. Luke Kelly, wraparound layup, left it short, ball loose. Bibby will control. 2-on-1 for Grantland. Scalabrine to the right of Bibby, back to Bibby, and he lost it out the baseline almost. Control it for a pass down low to Sherman, and he's fouled going to the basket. That's 14 fouls here on 7 outs.
That's the second time where there's been a 2-on-1.
Wait a minute, that was an offensive foul.
Oh, wow.
They called it on Sherman, saying he pushed off with that left hand.
Huh.
So an 11-point lead for Grantland. A 3 on this possession for 7 outs can make it 8. Feed inside, Luke Kelly works on Bibby. Fade away over the top of the 14-year pro is missed by Luke Kelly. Fed to Reggie Moore. The left wing, little hesitation in the corner. Lee Humphrey has been quiet so far today. Scalabrine, feed inside, Garrick Sherman. Dribbling down low, working. Little feed from behind the back. Yes, that's the perfect word. Easy. Over the top of Keith Ramsey. And Sherman makes that about as textbook as it is. Marigny to the top. Randall Orr, contested 3, rattles out. Bibby. He wants to push it. And he's fouled in transition.
7 outs better slow down a little bit.
Keith Ramsey picks that one up.
What they don't want to do is be in the bonus with
well, that's coming already.
14 minutes to go here. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's 16 minutes, but you're saying here comes the 14-minute mark. They might be in the 1-and-1. Not a good situation to be in.
To each their own, but when you're trying to rally back from a deficit, the last thing you want to do is work your team into foul trouble, and that's exactly what 7 outs has done here. Bibby from very deep. He left that short. Going to get his own miss. Driving to the basket, draws the contact, and there's a charge.
Good call.
They're going to call that a charge. Yes, waiting right there was Jason Carter to draw that contact, and Carter went to the ground, and Bibby is going to pick up the personal. That's 3 on Grantland as a team. Bibby picks up his second. 16 points for Mike Bibby in the first half. Grantland had 4 guys in double figures. Scalabrine had 12. Reggie Moore had 11. Humphrey guards Marigny, drives baseline. His pass taken away by Bibby. He throws it off the back of Luke Kelly and out of bounds, and Bibby says, we're going that way, is what he says.
Great play. He's falling out of bounds and just kind of throws it back, and I think it hit off Luke Kelly.
It did, off Kelly's back shoulder, yes.
Good hustle play by Mike Bibby. He still got it.
He does. The 37-year-old point guard out of the University of Arizona was an NCAA champ in 1997. Moore, back of the iron. Garrick Sherman could not collect it. It's controlled by 7 outs. This is Luke Kelly in transition. Comes up for 3 over Maxi Esho and drills it.
Nice pull-up. Luke Hill's got a smooth stroke. Pulls up. Even when he's going fast, his pull-up is really, really nice and smooth. It's a great shot there, 3-ball.
9 points for Kelly. Lee Humphrey's first shot of the day rattles out. Humphrey missed 1 time from beyond the arc in yesterday's win over the VBL Dream Team. Kelly again. No good. Sherman with the rebound. Garrick Sherman, 8 rebounds already this afternoon. Just a little over 3 minutes gone by in the first half. Moore gets it to Lee Humphrey. Bibby. Off a screen from Sherman. Esho making Moore running the baseline. No, it was Esho. Had it blocked, rejected, and pushed out of bounds. Believe that was Keith Ramsey that rejected it. It'll be Grantland ball with 12 on the shot clock and a 10-point lead for the top overall seed in this region. Lee Humphrey, the former Florida Gator, will toss it in. Reggie Moore works against Marigny. 4 on the shot clock. Scalabrine, he's going to drive, elevates, little floater, left it short with 1 on the shot clock off the glass. Here comes Drew Lavender. Kelly. Harassed by Bibby. Little crossover there. Tries to feed it down low, threw it out of bounds. Excuse me, Maxi Esho thought he had room and dribbled it out of bounds, so that's fortunate for 7 outs. They'll keep possession. Corner, Marigny works against Humphrey. And Marigny tosses it in. I'll tell you what, this 7 outs coaching staff, Bruce Williams to our left here, is working the officials. He has been one of the most vociferous coaches that I have seen on the sidelines, especially during this game. And he feels like his team is not getting the same calls here. Reggie Moore tried to throw it off to Esho, threw it away. Jason Carter, Marigny settles up against Bibby, driving baseline, fighting down low, and he lays it up and in. Marigny really working hard there. That was a nice play to get a step on Bibby and get it around the 14-year NBA pro.
7 outs understands that they may have to just will the ball in, and generally that's the aggressive play.
Moore drives. Esho. He's fouled going to the basket. Carter's going to pick this one up. 6-point lead for Grantland.
Number 23, Jason Carter, 3rd personal. 15th foul.
So Maxi Esho will go to the free throw line.
Esho knocks down the first free throw. No doubt that this Grantland team, hard to guard. You got Mike Bibby and Reggie Moore coming off pick and rolls from Sherman and Scalabrine. It's tough to guard. Knocks down the second free throw.
So Esho makes them both here. Grantland back up by 8. And Drew Lavender into the front court. To the right, elbow jumper over Sherman, nothing but net. That is tough to do for a guy that's only 5'6" to put it up over the top of Garrick Sherman, who stands at 6'10". Moore, double clutch, put it off the bottom of the backboard. Outlet Marigny, 2-on-1 for 7 outs. Marigny maybe was not quick enough there to take advantage. Lavender into the key. Floater, yes. Timeout Grantland. Wait a moment. The official telling Bruce Williams to relax a little bit here, and Matt Bonner wants a timeout.
I spoke to Bruce Williams after their win yesterday. You know, he's fiery. You know, that's one way to describe it.
Yes, it is.
He's passionate, and he's actually really positive with his team. I know sometimes with the officials he can bark, but with his team, he's very positive, and he tries to keep them in a cohesive group, one common goal. And I actually appreciate his coaching style. He's trying to go to bat for his team. I'm not mad at that.
Well, this 7 outs team during halftime talked a lot about
what they needed to do in the second half, and part of it was we need to make sure that we let everyone know that we're here to try to be aggressive and win $1 million. That was something you and I talked about during the first half. There was a part of this game where the energy in the arena was that this was an exhibition game with Brian Scalabrine and Mike Bibby on the floor, and everyone was having a good time. And then all of a sudden we saw Keith Ramsey get upset after a foul call underneath, and Ramsey drew a double technical with Michael Rappaport. And at that point, you got the feeling that 7 outs did not want to let this game get away, and they started to draw themselves back from that 15-point deficit. But one thing that may work in Grantland's advantage throughout this tournament is when you have a guy like Brian Scalabrine, who is well known, and Mike Bibby as well, a former second overall pick. Backdoor to Scal. Yes, how about that for an NBA veteran's bounce? That just off the back of the rim, and it rolls in. But you may catch a couple of teams by surprise just because they're lulled into the moment of it. Kelly off a curl, no. One-handed jam doesn't go either on the putback. Marigny aggressive, and he draws the foul. But you might be able to draw some teams out with that feeling of, hey, we're here to have a good time. Brian Scalabrine's here. Look, it's the White Mamba. And Mike Bibby's here to have some fun, too. And then all of a sudden, Grantland's up 25 points, and they're moving further through the tournament.
Right.
So Keith Ramsey wanted his team to know that they're here to try to win $1 million.
It's not a celebrity game by any means.
No, it is not. Marigny's first free throw goes down. Yes, he gets the roll. And you know what this 7-ounce team should do. They are from Vegas. Win the $1 million. Go back to Vegas, head into Caesar's Palace, put it all on red. That's what they should do. Try to double it up real quick. Second free throw is good. Just a 3-point game, 54-51. Make it 54-50. The lead for Grantland, a 4-point game. Bibby to the right point. His pass knocked away out the baseline, last touched by 7 outs. Humphrey right to Sherman. He lays it up and in. Rim running there is Garrick Sherman, the former Michigan State Spartan and Notre Dame Fighting Irish. He couldn't work his way into that alum team last year for $500,000. You're kidding me. They could use this guy. Lee Humphrey with the steal. Lavender lost it for a moment. Humphrey almost knocks over his own guy, Maxi Esho, trying to dive for the loose ball. And then Esho throws it away. Moore's going to check in. Scal's going to take a seat.
Esho's a good athlete, UMass product.
Yes.
I went to school in Massachusetts, Springfield College, just about an hour west of Boston. And up there, you know, everyone loves UMass, so Esho, definitely a name that everyone knows what's going on in regards to UMass.
Had a workout for the Celtics last year. D-League player. I believe he spent some time overseas as well. Has not spent a lot of time out of college, so still a very young kid, 24 years old.
Yes.
And this foul is going to go against 7 outs. Who got that, I believe? It was Paul Marigny. Yes, Marigny picks up his third for hooking. Use that arm to try to get around the defender. Reggie Moore into the front court, 11:05 to go, second half. Only a 6-point ball game. Bibby to the right point. Step back, long 2 for the Sacramento King, and he got it. Former Sacramento King, I should say. 58-50. Bibby has been quiet in the second half. That's his first 2 points. Had 16 in the first half. Lavender's floater. Yes, rattles home. Former standout Xavier gets 7 outs within 6. Bibby feed to Sherman. Just had it go through his hands. Luke Kelly ahead, overshoots Ramsey. That pass was about 25 feet away. It went 28. Carter will check out.
Kelly got a little greedy there. Great hands to steal the bounce pass from Bibby, but overthrew the pass for an easy 2, and now it's right back to Grantland.
Day 1, Tate will check in for 7 outs, and Bibby has now transitioned to that point guard position with Reggie Moore in the ballgame playing as the off guard. Scalabrine, pick and roll, short and right. Sherman trying to bat it back out, and he's going to get called for the foul. That was a pretty textbook one there. He was battling down low with Keith Ramsey. 4 on Garrick Sherman. I'll tell you what,
Grantland can't really afford to lose Garrick Sherman. He's the big size inside, and they're going to pull him out for a couple of minutes. Scalabrine will now transition to that 5 position with Lee Humphrey checking in.
I'm surprised we haven't seen Grantland kind of play a more inside-out game. They got so much size.
They got some shooting, too. I'm surprised we haven't seen more from Lee Humphrey. Marigny right of the lane. Daewon Tate shoots it from Vegas. He missed that very deep from the right wing.
I think that's even more to my point. You know, you start getting inside-out
Scal to the rim. Dumps it off down low to Maxi Esho, who puts it up and in.
Go, we need to stop. Talk.
Let's go defense.
There's Andrew Lavender. Played at Oklahoma his freshman year. Was a Big 12 all-freshman team. Misses that shot. Bibby to Esho. Puts it up and in.
Great left-handed pass by Mike Bibby.
Timeout called by 7 outs. This was a 4-point game, and Grantland has been able to extend it now to 10 with 9:27 to go. As we do thank you for joining us here on thetournament.com. Nick Grunowitz along with Tarek Patel. Day 3 of the Western Regional. Winner of this game here between top overall seed Grantland and the 9 seed 7 outs from Las Vegas will advance to Chicago for the Super 17. 2 teams have already punched their ticket. Team 23 as well as Team Utah. Utah with a win over the Nova Stars. Team 23 earlier today win over B-Ball Breakdown. We've got one more left in the tournament, and that's LA Unified against the NWA All-Stars. That should be a very entertaining affair, Tarek.
Yes, absolutely. LA Unified, as we mentioned earlier, stacked roster. And really a fun team to watch. They haven't been challenged too much in these first 2 rounds. Obviously, NWA will be that challenge. I spoke to David Blumenthal yesterday after his game, former USC Trojan, and he was talking about how in a tournament format, regardless of the competition, it's game by game.
Yes.
That's what he's talking about, just game by game, survive in advance. So LA Unified definitely one of the favorites as they take on NWA after this game.
Out of the timeout, here comes Drew Lavender. Daewon Tate circles around, gets a step on Esho, puts it off the glass and in.
Daewon Tate.
Get back, get back.
Here comes Mike Bibby. Draws the contact, floating in the lane, missed it.
Attack, Lou. Attack.
Luke Kelly, they want him to attack, calling from the 7-ounce bench. Gives it to Marigny. The circus layup goes. Was able to hook that one around Brian Scalabrine, the rim and in. And it's a 6-point lead for Team Grantland. More to the rim. Has it rejected inside. I believe that was Marigny that got a hand on it, and he's fouled by Lee Humphrey in transition.
I'm shocked there wasn't a foul call. It looked like Moore got hit in the head. I don't know if you saw that, but shocked they let that one go.
A lot of contact inside.
Yep.
That's what we talked about.
So Humphrey will pick up his first. Humphrey has not scored yet today. He had over 20 in that game yesterday over the VBL All-Stars. VBL Dream Team, that is. Ball in the hands of Drew Lavender. 8 points, 4 assists for Lavender. He lobs it up, was looking for Ramsey. Got it off the backboard and threw it back up and in. Does he get an assist and a bucket for that? I don't think so.
Yeah, he got the fortunate bounce there off a bad pass. Came right back to him, easy bucket.
Bibby bumped by Ramsey, and then Ramsey barks at the official. Scalabrine bodying up on Kelly, and Kelly blocks it away from behind on Scalabrine, out of bounds.
I'm surprised they're not doing that more. Obviously, great play by Kelly, but for Scalabrine, the White Mamba, he can get into that paint anytime he wants. He's too big.
4-point lead for Team Grantland, and a pass off the hands of Bibby and out of bounds. Let's not make this sound like it's a definite win for Grantland. This game is close.
No shot.
4 points, the differential.
7 ounces is way too competitive.
Marigny, this team has not gone away. They've trailed by double digits. Marigny to the cup, lays it up and in. 22 points for Paul Marigny. He's 9 of 10 from the floor. 2-point lead for Grantland. Scalabrine wants to slow it down for a moment. Daewon Tate looked to knock it away, and a foul called on the big man. That's the 17th foul on 7 outs.
Bruce Williams didn't like that call.
Pardon?
Bruce Williams did not like that call.
No, he did not.
From 7 outs. But they've kind of slowed it down. I mean, they started off the first minute with 3 team fouls, and now they're at 7. So they slowed it down a tad.
Yeah, 4 in the first, I think 2.5, 3 minutes. You are right. So since then, they have done quite well. Brian Scalabrine will shoot a 1-1. Former NBA pro, stops in Boston and Chicago after being drafted by the Nets. Was never a real big starter in the league. Was a bench guy, a reserve guy. Of course, won a title in 2008 with the Celtics. Played with the Bulls and then was an assistant coach with the Golden State Warriors in 2013 and 14. Was not with them this past year when they won the title. Scalabrine makes them both to give it a 2-point advantage for Grantland. Was an assistant to Mark Jackson. Left wing 3 for Moore. Missed it. Esho with the board. Put back, no, but a foul called.
Scalabrine also known for kind of like a glue guy, likable glue guy in the locker room.
Yeah.
Just known for being the guy that keeps everybody together.
And the funny thing about this team is he's part of the Big Red 3, as they call it.
Right.
Matt Bonner.
Right.
The guys that put this team together, the GM, Matt Bonner, the San Antonio Spur, or I guess I would say he's kind of in transition right now.
Right.
He's an unrestricted
limbo, isn't
free
he?
agent. Yes, well, he's waiting to find a team to sign with. Someone will take Matt Bonner, I believe, as a veteran minimum guy. Carter checks in for 7 outs. Taking a seat will be Luke Kelly. But the Big Red 3, Matt Bonner, Brian Scalabrine, of course, Michael Rappaport. And if you ask me, Scalabrine and Rappaport are doppelgangers. They look very, very similar, those two guys. So I was joking around with Rappaport about that before the start of the game, that they look somewhat similar. Matt Bonner was talking on one of the Grantland podcasts before the start of the tournament here with Michelle Beadle. Layup down inside. That is good. Paul Marigny, he's got 24 points. Paul Marigny is keeping 7 outs in this. But Bonner said, we want Rappaport to be our booster, but we didn't give him a jersey. We want to win the tournament, is what they said. Bibby, top of the key 3, yes. 14-year NBA pro, puts it in and gives Grantland a little bit of breathing room. 7-point lead for the top seed in this region.
Rappaport had some more antics yesterday. His first day, kind of had his own camera crew in here.
He had a really good time yesterday.
Right.
Humphrey with the steal lob. Esho puts it off the glass and in. Didn't know if he was going to be able to get it up and jack it down, so we just put it off the glass. A nice move there by Maxie Esho out of Boston, Massachusetts. Marigny uses a screen. Looking to throw it inside. Bibby's going to pick up the foul. He was trying to body up against Keith Ramsey. And Bibby is going to pick up his 3rd foul. I'll be interested to see when Grantland works Garrick Sherman back into this game, because this run by 7 outs kind of coincided with Garrett Sherman picking up that 4th foul. And as I say that, the big man that played for Tom Izzo at Michigan State and Mike Bray at Notre Dame will check back in. So Sherman in. Dajuan Tate checking back in as well. No, Luke Kelly checking back in for 7 outs. Carter takes a seat. Bibby, right at the point. Humphrey, harassed by Lavender. Here's Sherman working over Kelly. Dips under, misses the right-handed jumper. Dajuan Tate, he stepped. Did he travel? No, there's no call there from Tate. Marigny into the front court. Top of the key, little step jump pass, good one down there.
Nice play.
And the finish by Ramsey.
Came off the pick and roll, little hesitation. Big man didn't really show, but then he did. Nice little over-the-top pass, layup.
And that little hesitation step is what set it up through the timing off of the Grantland defense. 7-point lead for the top seed in this region. Esho, nice little dribble there on Tate. Up and under on the reverse layup and the foul. The former Minuteman from UMass shooting it well there with the handles as well. Maxie Esho. Little crossover dribble, put it up and under, drew the foul. And a chance to give Grantland a 10-point lead with the free throw. And with that, Esho, 14 points. Grantland has 5 guys in double figures.
Double crossover for Esho.
He
Fakes
misses the
left,
free
goes
throw.
right towards the baseline side. Strong finish through the contact. Couldn't get the old-fashioned play, though.
Fall away jumper from Marigny. No. And a whistle on the loose ball. This is going to go against 7 outs. 7 outs got within 2 points, but now Grantland has raced back out to a 9-point lead. You think whether or not this 7 outs team has enough to try to make another run in the final 5:25. Daewon Tate will take his seat. Randall Orr will check back in, and the foul on Garrick Sherman during the loose ball will trigger a 2-shot foul. It's a double bonus now, Grantland. Sherman's first free throw is good. You talk about that foul trouble earlier, that flurry of fouls early in the second half. This is what we were talking about. Now it's double bonus for Grantland the rest of the way. And Garrick Sherman, a good shooter. He makes them both. 12 points for Garrick Sherman. Lavender works against Lee Humphrey. Randall Orr going down the middle of the lane. Charge. Kelly bowled over Mike Bibby, who went down. And Luke Kelly is going to pick up the foul. That's an offensive foul. Will not trigger a double bonus free throw. So it'll just be Grantland ball out the baseline there. Looks as if Reggie Moore will move back to the point guard spot for this Grantland team. Mike Bibby taking the charge there. The man that was drafted 2nd overall pick. He is the highest pick in the NBA to play in the basketball tournament, taken 2nd overall. A couple of lottery picks that were slated to be in this tournament. Of course, I think of Ike Thiago, who was taken 9th in 2005. Marcus Banks on this 7 outs roster, who has not shown up for these games yet, but he's on the roster, so I'm going to count him 13th in 03 to the Memphis Grizzlies. Bibby 2nd overall to the Grizzlies. They weren't Memphis, though. They were in Vancouver, if you remember the good old days. Bibby a 3 over Marigny. Rattles out. Rebound is almost saved out the baseline by Ramsey, but he throws it back to Grantland.
Keep playing low. Stay aggressive.
Moore controls up high.
Screen, come on, Rando.
Sherman the screen. Moore gets around the corner trying to throw it to Asho with a little spin move there, but missed him.
11 points, 4:35. Definitely still a ball game.
Oh, yes.
Obviously, the double bonus is a factor. Every whistle, Grantland's going to get 2 free throws. But 7 outs could put a little run here together and make it real interesting, no doubt.
Ball rolled up the middle of the floor. Lavender picks it up. Scalabrine has checked into the game for Grantland. Lavender, good handles here as he works on Lee Humphrey. Picks up the dribble. Ramsey, guarded closely by Esho. That is one big, long Minuteman there. Lavender walks into a 3. Yes, over the top of Lee Humphrey. Not much you can do there if you're the former Florida Gator.
Hit him with the hezzy and just let him know that counts for 3.
And Andrew Lavender, who played at Xavier and Oklahoma, makes this an 8-point game. Scalabrine for 3. Yep, rattles it home.
Answers back. Back to 11.
This has been the issue for 7 outs. Every time they make a little bit of a run, Grantland has had an answer. Lavender to the rim. Runner goes down, and the foul. How about that? Drawing the contact, reached the ball under, flicked it up, got the foul and the basket, and now Lavender will head to the line with a chance to make it a 3-point play. Lee Humphrey picks up the foul. That is his 2nd.
Whoever can stack the most stops in a row these last 3 minutes and 40 seconds of the time is probably going to end up winning this game. Obviously, Grantland has the advantage, but whoever can stack 3 or 4 stops in a row might be able to squeak this one out.
Lavender trying to complete the 3-point play. He does. I'm surprised 7 outs has not gone to some kind of a full-court pressure here on this Grantland team, but they will settle back and pick up Bibby at half court. Keith Ramsey does that. Grantland back to Bibby. Scalabrine trying to find more with it. Instead, he'll dribble in the corner, hand off to Humphrey.
Trapped in the corner, almost taken away, and it is. Marigny ends up with it. 2-on-1. Marigny working on Bibby. Draws the contact, makes the layup. Paul Marigny, 26 points for 7 outs. 4-point game, make it a 6-point game. More, little hesitation, drives, baseline, kicks out top, and he lost it. Scalabrine couldn't pick it up. Here's Lavender drawing on Bibby. Up and under, yes! Wow. How about that bounce?
There it is.
Drew Lavender hit the floor. The ball went through the basket, and it's a 4-point lead for Grantland. Timeout, Grantland.
Not only did 7 outs get a couple stops like I had predicted, but they got some steals and some transition buckets.
12 turnovers for the top seed in this region, Grantland. 7 outs has turned it into 10 points. They are on a bit of a run here. Down by just 4 in a game that has only had 2 lead changes and 4 ties. It has pretty much been all Grantland since early in the first half. With 2:51 though, the boys from Las Vegas starting to make it a little bit interesting. Drew Lavender off the steal there, was able to take it down, up and under, and get the basket. And 7 outs led by Paul Marigny, who's been very impressive. 26 points and 5 rebounds.
11 of 13 from the field. Talking about an efficient game. His only 2 misses are from beyond the arc. Everything else.
He's been a real slasher so far today, getting to the basket.
Everything else has been at the rim. But 2 big-time stops, clearly 7 outs, picking up the tempo here, getting Grantland to play in a little bit of a scramble. Turnover, 2 easy buckets, 4-point game. Plenty of ball game left.
Grantland coming out of the timeout here.
And to pick up the pressure in double bonus and not to commit a foul. It's impressive.
Here comes Reggie Moore. Kind of a gut check moment here for Grantland. He splits the defenders, elevates, has that blocked away. Day one, Tate got the hand on it. Here comes Marigny, working on Scalabrini. Hesitates, he traveled. That is a rough turnover for 7 outs. Looked like it might be a sure 2 points for Paul Marigny, but instead it turns into the 9th turnover of the game for 7 outs. 4-point lead for Grantland. 7 outs cannot lose focus here. This is the moment when a team like Grantland will hit a 3 and put this one out of reach. Moore to the basket, throws up a runner, draws the foul.
No-brainer, good call. 2 free throws here for Reggie Moore.
Luke Kelly picks up his 3rd foul. And we'll see Reggie Moore go to the line. 11 points for Moore.
Yeah, Lee Humphrey.
Nothing. They have not given him much of a shot, though. He's only had one attempt. It was a 3-pointer from the corner that missed.
A shooter of his skill.
No, he has been the one.
Give him some looks.
He has been the one matched up on Drew Lavender, has been putting a lot of that energy in defensively, and Drew Lavender has not left him. Lee Humphrey is a guy you cannot leave. We talked about that yesterday during that VBL Dream Team game where Lee Humphrey hit 5 3-pointers. You can't leave him. He is the epitome of a knockdown 3-point shooter, and he did that yesterday. Moore makes both free throws to make this a 6-point game. And be careful, because 7 outs may leave him late. Lee Humphrey may be the guy that's quiet all day, but he's a sniper. They usually are quiet. Long 3 for Lavender. That's another guy that can shoot it as well. 3-point ball game, 80-70. Grantland leads.
Tough shot.
Yes. Grantland has gone 2 minutes and 8 seconds without a field goal. Just the 2 free throws from Moore. Left wing, there's Humphrey. He just missed it short. He could have proven me right there. Unfortunately, he missed it short. Esho with the rebound, he's fouled.
He made a liar out of you.
Day one, Tate picks up the foul. Still 1:50 left. But that was the first good look that Lee Humphrey has had all game. Could not put it down. Esho will shoot 2. Team Grantland trying to stay alive here. 7 outs, looking to rally. Winning team will go to Chicago for the Super 17 when the
4 winners of each regional converge on the Windy City, and of course the 2004 Notre Dame alum champion team will enter the tournament. A 3-game bye. How about that? 5-point Grantland lead after Esho makes them both. Orr to the basket, puts up the layup and the foul. They're going to call the foul on Mike Bibby, and Randall Orr puts it up and in.
It's a good call. Mike Bibby was actually falling. Before any of that contact, he was already falling. Thought it was a good call.
So Randall Orr with a chance to make the free throw and get this down to a 2-point difference.
That was a textbook charge. Good take, baby. Knock this down, Randall.
Randall Orr looking to finish off this 3-point play. Orr out of Henderson, Nevada, has played overseas for most of the last 8 years, including Kuwait, Japan, Thailand, and others. Today, 15 points. This will be his first attempted free throw. He puts it in. 2-point game.
For such a big fella, he shoots a lot of threes.
Yes, he does. Likes to step away and jack them up, and he is very good at shooting them as well. Here comes Reggie Moore. Paul Marigny meets him at half court. 90 seconds left. Winner to Chicago.
Stay, Randall. Stay up.
Randall Orr switches on to Reggie Moore. Going to try to take advantage of it. Extra pass to Scalabrine up high. Forces his way into the right corner. Moore 3. Rims out. Rebound Tate. 7 outs with the ball. They can take the lead with a 3 on this possession with a little over a minute to go in the second half. Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a fun ride to the finish. Drew Lavender works against Brian Scalabrine. McDonald's All-American against an NBA champion. Lavender elevates, blocked away by Scalabrine.
Good defense there. Lavender got the mismatch, dragged him out, thought he could exploit him with his speed. Great recovery by Scalabrine, puts the ball out of bounds.
Kelly will throw it in, does quickly. Marigny lays it up, and it's just off wide, but Marigny is going to go to the line. Reggie Moore picks up the foul. 2 free throws, he can tie it up with 52 seconds left. We've had 1 overtime game in this tournament. It came yesterday. Free throw from Moore is good.
I believe it was global. Was it not Global Select and 7 outs?
Yes, it was.
And 7 outs was able to pull it out.
So you know this 7 outs team has some experience with close games in overtime. Marigny makes them both. He has 29. 52 seconds to go. Enough time for 2 possessions. We play with 35-second shot clocks here. You can hear Bruce Williams, the GM of this 7 outs team, trying to cheer his team on and keep them motivated for a win over the top overall seed. Reggie Moore up high. In motion, Bibby, the 14-year NBA pro, gets a screen from Scalabrine. The double comes. Bibby holds off. 10 on the shot clock. Orr checking Bibby. Scalabrine, that is deflected out of bounds by Luke Kelly. 6 on the shot clock for Grantland, and a timeout called by Matt Bonner.
Matt Bonner's going to channel his inner Popovich.
Inner
he
Greg
has
Popovich.
to. I mean, what other coach has he played for? Who else do you go to here in your mind? You got to go to Pop.
Cannot be a better coach to play for. Greg Popovich, Matt Bonner, 2 championship rings with the Spurs. Now, this is an interesting spot for Team Grantland. You need to come away with something because, of course, with just 23 seconds to go, if 7 outs gets the ball, they can hold it for the final shot. So, one guy that is missing from this Grantland team, Luke Bonner, who you can see is in the gray shirt there, standing in the Grantland huddle, just next to his brother Matt, the redhead, in the purple shirt. Luke was supposed to play on this team. He's an overseas professional. But a couple of weeks ago, fell down, broke his arm while he was jogging around his neighborhood. His brother Matt talked about it a couple of days ago. Luke tripped over his dog and shattered his arm. So he is currently recovering from that. Will not play in this tournament, which is a shame because Grantland could be using him right now.
7 outs needs to make sure that in 6 seconds when this shot goes up, they get the rebound.
Scalabrine inbound. Moore working on Tate. Falls down. Timeout. He traveled. They're going to turn it over. Grantland will give it back to 7 outs. And a chance for the team from Las Vegas to come away with an upset victory here and head to Chicago. 19.5 seconds on the clock, and you imagine 7 outs will hold it for the final shot. Lavender holds.
Definitely last shot. Expect the last shot to go up, I don't know, maybe 5, 6 seconds, 4 seconds, so there's an opportunity for an offensive rebound.
Keep an eye on Randall Orr. He sets the screen high. Lavender, he's going to fire it up from quarter court. Yes! Randall Orr with the dagger. Timeout, Grantland. Timeout, Grantland with 2.2 to go. Drew Lavender gives 7 outs the lead for the first time since the first half. This game has had 5 ties and 3 lead changes. That one of them right there, and it comes with 2 seconds to go, and the 9th-seeded team in this region a chance to upset Grantland right here on day 3 of the Western Regional. Drew Lavender over, getting high fives in the crowd. What a big shot from the 2003 McDonald's All-American from just about quarter court, right near the table here in front of us. We are playing college rules. The timeout, though, does not advance the ball.
A lot of emotion right now for 7 outs. They got to, honestly, you got to think about maybe fouling. They're in the double, but I mean, the max you can get is 2 free throws, up 3. It's just one of those moves you could possibly do.
You think about it here just a little bit. Grantland will inbound. With 2 seconds to go, you're thinking of trying to find someone on the run towards the basket to heave it up there. Moore will inbound. Randall Orr will front him. And they're going to get it inbound here, trying to find Scalabrine. It's a long pass, tipped by 7 outs. Scal throws it up towards the rim. No. And it's all over. 7 outs.
Wow.
The team from Las Vegas betting big, and right now it's all coming up red for these guys in the crimson jerseys. They upset Team Grantland, the top overall seed in the West, going home early. And 7 outs is headed to the Windy City. They're going to Chicago for the Super 17. What a shot with 2.2 to go in the last half, the second half here for Drew Lavender from the quarter court to give his team an 85-82 win, the 2003 McDonald's All-American. What a finish.
7 outs showed a lot of grit.
They did.
That's really what it is. I think that's the word for it. A lot of resilience, too.
Down by double digits, a great part of this game.
They felt that the officials were on the Grantland side, if you will, and they felt that they were going to be in the hole for the entire game, but they continued to fight, continued to get good looks. Some key turnovers here at the end of the game. Grantland coughed it up. Easy buckets for 7 outs, and they pull out as the victors.
And that will do it. 7 outs. 3 straight wins here in the West Regional. They played day 1 with a win over on day 1 the LA Dragons, an overtime win over Global Select yesterday, and a last-second victory here, last 2-second victory, I guess I would say, over Grantland. They advanced to Chicago, and they joined the Utah team and Team 23 heading to the Super 17 from the West Regional. Coming up, the final game here at the West Regional in Los Angeles. The LA Unified Squad will take on the NWA All-Stars. We'll have that coming up at 4:15